Hello and welcome to Unbox the Podcast, the podcast that helps you live your best life. I'm your host, Sahar Huneidi-Palmer. Unbox Coffee Break started in the lockdown of 2020. What developed was a true sense of community, virtual community, and I found a new way to support my friends, followers, and those who needed help.
Today we're going to talk about something that I'm very excited about. Well, I think by definition I talk about what I'm excited about, but really because I got a lot of messages from you that, some people, friends, clients, followers are still worried about COVID, life after COVID. Everyone seems to be stressed. I shared a post today in the story that I was working in the garden and it really took me all day. It was amazing. And I want to share with you some pictures, and I will tell you why a little bit later. Because many of you said that you wanted to see the end result. This is the new garden corner that I have created. So I don't know whether we're going to travel this year or not travel, but I'm creating a lot of shade in my garden so that I can enjoy it. But I also wanted to enjoy the shades, the birds, the cats and everything, and I've created another corner. And the reason that I did that is, in spite of what we're going through, we need to kind of create our own reality. A reality that we can enjoy, we can relate to. And I don't know how you've been dealing with everything and how much of your own reality have you created, but really it's as simple as aligning your action with your goal. And my goal is not to be affected negatively by whatever we've been going through, because this too shall pass and we will return to normal, whatever normal is. A lot of people are worried about normal. It doesn't matter. We never really go back to the past as it was anyway. So why should we worry about it? And I think one thing that I want to impress upon you is that you could use your time, your effort, your mind by creating the life that you truly love and want. And this is what today's coffee break is about. How do we create a beautiful reality? And I hope that you will see it is as simple as aligning yourself, who you think you are. Forget who you think you are. I would like to connect you today with your true nature, and you align what you want, yourself, with what you want, and you're gonna get what you want, because this is how it really happens. So how we create our own reality is really by keeping our eyes on the target. So you can have your apple and eat it too. Keep your eye on what you want, what you enjoy, the fruits of your labor, then you really are going to get there. One thing which is really, really important is that we create our reality with our higher mind. Higher mind, I mean from a higher perspective, from a perspective of I really want to enjoy my life. If my life was a movie, what is my movie about? How can I make the movie more interesting? I am the principal actor and I need to make myself more interesting so that my life becomes more interesting, and that is going to make me really happy. So we can complicate things as much as we want, or we can simplify. And I think when we simplify it, we really absorb what we're trying to do, and it becomes a lot easier. If our mind is busy asking the wrong questions, then we will lose sight of what we're trying to create, and we will lose sight of what is really important in life. So I stopped reading anything about this virus. It's a virus. It doesn't need to contaminate our minds. And, what needs to be done will be done about it. And on an individual level, you can do quite a lot about it, not to spread it and not to catch it without being paranoid, just being reasonably cautious, etc. And then I stopped reading anything about it, nothing at all, because if you do, you're going to be worried and you're going to focus there instead of focusing ahead of you. So that's really important that we understand what we create is with our mind, but our mind has to be really clear. So you can't create with a negative mind, because you're going to end up with exactly what you don't want to end up with. Okay, I said that very quickly because I'm very excited about it. Does that make sense? Please give me thumbs up. Let me know that you're following with me and you are with me. Now, if you are reacting to something, it means you are responding to whatever is happening, which means you are not mindfully creating with your mind. So if we are busy being emotional, if we are busy being reacting, if we are busy getting paranoid about whatever is happening, you are really wasting valuable time that you could use otherwise towards getting to where you want to go. And this is where I come to the garden. This is what I can do in my immediate environment. This is what I have been doing in my immediate home. Clearing things, swapping things around, decluttering, painting few walls, just to refreshen the feeling, because I am here most of the time because of lockdown. And I wanted to make it as inspiring, as comfortable as possible. And the immediate environment of the house is the garden. And with the summer coming up, then we need to work on the shade. And I do care about the environment. I do recycle, I do compost and things like that. And I just have a thing that we can all create a microclimate where we can enjoy where we are. And that is something that I love, and that is something that makes my heart sing. And this is what's absorbed me, my mind, most of the time, apart from being with you and creating material that can help you see how we can really simplify life instead of making it very, very difficult for ourselves. Okay, now 2 things are involved when you are creating. You need to know who you are. You need to know what you want. Who you are can be confusing, because if you put limitations on your identity, it's going to limit how you think, how you feel, and therefore the actions that you take. But your true nature, all of us, is that we have a body, we have a mind, we have emotions, and finally, what makes up our life is the little actions and the big actions that we take throughout our lives. And this is what Unbox is based on, the 4 dimensions of change. And you notice a lot of people begin by defining who they are, either through work, what they do. Very often when I used to do one-to-one sessions and with clients, mostly I work online now, they used to, and I used to ask them, like, who are you? And the next question would be, what do you want? And their answer would be, oh, I'm a whatever banker, I'm a portfolio manager, especially men. Women would define themselves by, oh, I'm a wife, or I'm a mother, and I would normally say, no, that's the role that you play. That's the job that you have, but who are you? And this is when they go blank, because in their personal life, they have not developed their hobbies, they have not developed their interests, they have not really been curious about life. And I think this is your movie, this is who you are, is what you do with your time on earth and how you impact, inspire other people around you, be it your immediate family or friends or clients or people you work with. For me, that is really truly the quality of life, and this is what can be very rewarding about it. But if you begin by limiting who you are, then truly you're gonna miss out on what is your true purpose. And I think for all of us, our true purpose is to enjoy our time and our life. We can busy our minds with the limitations that we have, or we can remind ourselves that we are at the tail end of revolution. So us and the chimpanzees are about 1.9% different. But look at the huge difference. Look at what we did in terms of evolution, what we have accomplished, what kind of beings we have become, if you will. And that 1%, 1.9% made the whole difference to our lives. So you are already equipped with what you need to have in order to have a fantastic life. We are creatures, human beings that are capable of infinite possibilities. So why do we busy our mind with the clutter, doubting who we are, doubting what is our purpose, doubting, how to define our being busy because of running around material possessions, am I in the right job? Are they treating me well? Panicking. Of course, there is a financial crisis at hand because a pandemic would do that, but it's not going to be like that forever. And why is our focus here? And what I normally tend to do, and this is when I was a child, if I hit a wall, then I will look for another direction and I will think, okay, what can I do here instead of worrying about there? And I spoke a little bit in other coffee breaks about creating, or life, if you will, is like driving. And when you drive, if there's a congested lane, you tend to move into the space. And the same thing with life. It's co-creation as well. Sometimes it's to do with you, sometimes it's to do with what's happening worldwide. And if it is worldwide, there is really nothing much that we can do about it, except individually to be responsible not to spread it and not to catch it, as I said. But then there's lots to do in your inside world. Who are you? What are your interests? What are you curious about? What are the hobbies, things, tasks that you wanted to get done for so long, but life got in the way? And many people, while many people are being really busy about, worrying about COVID, I think we can really channel that mind, let me call it, that mind energy that we're spending in a negative way. We can channel that towards asking ourselves, okay, now is the right time. What is it that I really wanted to do that I could not do before because life got in the way? Does that make sense, guys? Now, when we talk about your true nature, your true nature is the body, the mind, the emotions, and the actions. And the way that our awareness grows, if you connect yourself, practice connecting yourself with your body. Watch yourself, whether you are in a meeting or in somebody's company. I heard something on the radio that a lot of couples are splitting up because they have lived together under the same roof now in lockdown for so long, and they found out that they can't stand each other. I don't think that is necessarily true, but I think life got in the way before of their own personal growth, and now they need to work on themselves again to become interesting, to become curious about life. And if they did, I bet you anything, they wouldn't be really splitting up. So it's not about the other person. The other person shows you what you need to work on, but really, if you connect with your body, if you connect with your emotions, don't run away from them. You just need to inquire with curiosity. Why do I feel that way? Why did that person make me feel that way? Just ask the questions. I think the hardest thing you can ever do in terms of self-awareness, the hardest thing ever. Well, let me ask you, what do you think the hardest thing is to do in terms of your self-growth, your awareness, in terms of living life? So what is the hardest thing that you could ever do in life? I think it's facing the person in the mirror. Being truthful with yourself, not lying to yourself, being absolutely clear with yourself as to your intentions, your motivations, why do I want this? Why am I not doing that? This kind of thing. And what happens when you focus on your inner world, which now is the perfect time to do so, you will find that the outer world will change. What you want out of life will be different. The kind of people that you want to hang around with would be different, because we're all looking to nurture ourselves, to support ourselves, rather than to battle through life. We are not meant to battle through life, but we are meant to train our minds so that we can focus on how do we grow, how do we evolve. And for me, personal growth, spiritual growth, whatever you want to call it, is really a process of continuous focus. So for example, if you're taking a snapshot of someone, or if someone taking a picture of yourself, and the scenery is fantastic, the background is amazing, what else? The weather is fantastic, all the elements are there, and then click, and then the picture comes out of focus. Well, it's really of no value if the main thing we're not focusing on. And this is what happens with awareness. When you teach yourself to continuously focus your body, your emotions, your mind, your actions on where you're going. If you continuously are curious about life, do I really want that? What for? What is my motivation? What is my intention? You will be continuously aligning yourself, with your goal, with your higher purpose, if you will. And for me, the higher purpose is not about accomplishment, but it's about living to your fullest potential, being all that you can be, impacting other people's lives, inspiring them, as well as feeling very good and inspired about the life that you live. And what happens with alignment is a magical thing. Once that awareness is there, it takes less effort. You will begin to notice that things will begin to fall in the right place, the right people come to you, the right opportunities come to you, because it's about flow rather than about struggle. And I think the whole universe is designed that way. So if we're struggling, it means we're not following the flow. Somehow we're swimming against the current. So building a beautiful life begins with getting to know you, the higher nature of you, understanding that we steer life with our minds, but our minds have to be cleared, and moment to moment, day to day, year to year, whatever, we need to be focused towards our goal, meaning be inquisitive, ask yourself, am I genuinely happy? Is who I'm with, what I'm doing, is that really making my heart sing? If it isn't, then you shouldn't be doing that. So sometimes you could be doing the right thing, but for the wrong reasons, and that's not going to make you happy. The other thing that I want to say is really start with you. It's no good saying, I'm doing this for my husband, or I'm doing this for my wife, or for my partner, or for my children so they can learn from it, because you will be unhappy. Do it for you, and other people will learn by example. If you are in alignment, if your life is in focus, if your life is fulfilled, rich, inspiring, that's contagious. That really catches on very quickly. And I think this is what we need to be doing, connecting with our true nature, connecting with what we truly desire in life. I want to remind you that we create according to the level of awareness that we are at. So if you're not aware of any of that, you wouldn't really know that there is something beyond the reality that you live. Very long while ago, about 28 years ago, I read somewhere that, and it was to do with marketing, let alone spiritual growth, that 80% of people are not truly aware of what they want. Can you imagine that 80% of people are on automatic pilot, and therefore they can be influenced, and it's almost like they are like robots walking around, not truly connecting with what it is that makes them happy, that they desire, not connecting with the fact that we can each carve a beautiful life for ourselves. And the point is, if we each do that individually, then look at it, your own society, your own family, your own neighborhood, your own country, your own world that we all share and live in would then be beautiful. And this is why personal growth is really, really important. And it is something that I'm really passionate about. And I keep focusing all my clients, on themselves first. And if you're okay, and if you're in alignment, you will help other people to be. So when we speak about the level of awareness, remember the pyramid? I keep bringing that in. In fact, a client of mine is a company, and they love explaining awareness in that way. If you're walking up to a pyramid, and if you're on level B, you can call it basement, but B stands for body. Let's say you're on the first level of awareness. What you see is what is directly in front of you. And we should really talk about perspective. How do you develop your perspective? I spoke about it a little bit in a previous coffee break. But anyway, if you're climbing up the pyramid, all you can see is what is directly in front of you. If you move up the pyramid of awareness, because we're all aiming to fulfill our fullest potential, which is the target on the top of the pyramid, when you are at level E, then you begin to see a little bit better. Your perspective or your view or your point of view or your perspective has expanded a bit. And so on until you get to the top of the pyramid where you have uninterrupted view, bird's eye view, eagle's view, whatever you want to call it. But then you can really see where you are relative to the world. But if we have blinkered vision and we're only focused on how we identify ourselves and how we label ourselves, then we have cut down on our growth. We have cut down on the myriads of possibilities that we can be and we can create. So it is worthwhile to understand this focus, this alignment, to understand, to connect with our bodies. The bodies don't lie. You're either comfortable with what you do or you're like, you're terribly wrapped up in your body, in which case really your body will tell you immediately whether you are comfortable in the company, in the job that you have, and so on. So think about this. It can really simplify things. Face yourself in the mirror. Be truthful to yourself. Ask yourself, am I happy? Is my heart singing? Is my heart enjoying this? If the answer is no, then find another. Now, how do you know who you are? Really, to make it really, 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 really simple and save you a lot of therapy, it is whatever makes your heart sings. Seriously, guys. Life is short. Use your time well. Make sure that you're enjoying what you do. And it is not up to the other person. It is to you. It is up to you. So even if the other person, your partner, whatever, colleagues, co-worker, boss doesn't appreciate you, doesn't treat you right, blah, 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 your personal world, you are in charge of. So you can choose to, in your alignment, for lack of a better word, to stand at the center of your own world and choose that I'm actually happy in my inner world. If he's not driving his car right, that is to do with him, but he does not have control, or she, over how I feel. This is really important. So connect with whatever your heart desires, really makes you happy. Connect with your 4 dimensions of change just by questioning, making note of it, being aware of it, and you will get to where you want to go. So to summarize, connect with your true nature. Your true nature is not your label, your sex, your job, the family that you come from, or the background that you come from, because we all are the same. But our mechanic, the body connects to the emotions are powered by hormones, and experiences trigger these reactions in us, which helps us form our belief system. And sometimes our belief system is wrong because the experience has been negative, and therefore we cannot take the right action, we cannot reach the target in the right way. So this is a continuous process, taking out whatever doesn't work, writing off the programs that don't work, like literally ejecting, and installing updates all the time. This is what evolution is about. This is what awareness is about. It doesn't mean you've got it. I'm forever changing the way that I feel about things, reviewing life. And if you're happy, you will not be doing that. But if you're unhappy, it means that's like a little catalyst that telling you, hey, you could go higher up the pyramid, be happier, be more fulfilled. And this is how I choose to see it. And life becomes more interesting, more exciting, rather than a negative experience. So 2 things you need to know: connect with who you are and go after what makes your heart sing. So for example, if you're in the middle of an argument, if you're not enjoying it, then please don't do it. You can choose to just be quiet, step back, smile, walk away, get back into focus, and then resume the discussion without the heated emotion. This is just a small example. But of course, there are a lot of I hope that this has been useful and inspiring to you, and I hope that you're not going to worry about what is the new normal. It is whatever it needs to be, but you can create whatever you need to be, whatever you need the future to be for you. You can create that right now. Have an amazing week, and I hope you will create your week with your higher mind, paying attention to whatever makes your heart sing. I hope you're safe and your family are safe and well, and look after yourself. Bye-bye for now.